Hey guys, sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been very busy over the weekend, but today I have another live review for you. On the 26th of November, I saw Devin Townsend at the Roundhouse in Camden Town, and it was actually his Retinal Circus show. Now, before I get stuck into the review, I just want to point out that I'm a pretty big Devi fan. Not huge, but pretty big. More importantly though, I have a ton of respect for him because of his absurd work rate and his very unique perspective on things like life and just things we all think about, really. But anyway, I hadn't seen him before, and this show had been talked about for a while, pretty much since the start of the year. He's had a bunch of great plans for it that he's sort of leaked out in various different ways, such as for interviews, and it all sounded very exciting, so needless to say, I was really psyched about this show. I must admit, I actually spoiled tiny little bits of the show beforehand because I read this extra little magazine that came with Metal Hammer, and it basically just has a bunch of information like some songs that he was going to perform and also a couple of little details that would be changing around on stage. But anyway, on to the review. Now, the doors opened at 6:30, but the gig started at 8. Me and my friend got there for 7:30 and there were no supports, it was just a straight out 3-hour Devin show. To begin with, a very bizarre and big-headed clown came on stage and told everyone to sort of quieten down. The stage setup was basically 3 huge suspended screens with projectors pointed towards them. There was also a higher platform with a staircase going along the side of it, and running down the front of this platform was 2 huge sheets that were red and white striped. It gave it a very much circusy feel. But anyway, once the clown left the stage, a face popped up on the screen and started talking about a boy called Harold, who was actually acted out on the stage by another person. And ultimately, the point of the show was it was about this teenage boy who had a lot of questions and curiosities, such as families, sex, drugs, drinking, war, space, and all those things that really we all think about. And the whole point of this show, like I said, was to explore these themes via his dreams. The actor got into an onstage bed and fell asleep. At this point, a 20-person choir came on the stage and started singing the intro to Epicloud, Effervescent. After this, they followed the album's intro, which goes into True North. After this, the song Lucky Animals came in. And one thing to point out is that each song had its own theme. Sometimes massive parts of the stage would change to fit a particular theme. The screens were used very well, displaying very appropriate imagery. Throughout the show, I must say, the band was so tight. Very on pitch and tight musically. Devin's vocals sounded great and his presence was very noticeable. Personally, I love his little quirks and movements on stage, just his general stage personality. Throughout the show, he covered a huge range of his own work, all the way from Ocean Machine and also stuff like the Devin Townsend project, stuff like Deconstruction. You had some Ziltoid thrown in the mix, and to many people's surprises, and I must admit I spoiled this myself, but he actually played 2 Strapping Young Lad songs, and he played the songs Detox and Love. He also had some guest musicians that came on to play with him. However, the one thing I have to say about this show and really point out is that it was half theatre and half a gig. Like I said, each song had its own theme. For example, the song Lucky Animals had backing dancers in dog onesies, and the next song, Planet of the Apes, had about 20 apes come on stage and cage up the dogs. The whole thing was very impressive visually, and there was always something that would catch your attention and always something that was entertaining on stage. I will say, in certain aspects, for theatre, it was a little bit sloppy. However, it didn't kill the whole vibe and it still got its point across. The theme was definitely still there and stuff like that, so it didn't really matter too much. Also, because Devin doesn't necessarily take himself so seriously as a musician or a personality, these little things didn't seem that out of place in a sense. Other on-stage shenanigans included things like having a tree of life during the song Life, and a very bizarre visual event that included Ziltoid and his wife towards the end of Planet Smasher, which I won't spoil for you guys, because the DVD is going to come out and it's pretty damn hilarious and just plain unique. You won't see it coming, you'll laugh. Ultimately, I could say a lot more about this show, but I'm going to end it here because I almost feel like I'm spoiling the DVD for you guys if I give too much detail. But ultimately it was a very entertaining, colourful and just glorious celebration of Devin Townsend's career up to this point. There was a very nice sentiment in the end of the show. He clearly put a lot of effort into this show and he looked so happy performing it, and it was amazing to be a part of it and to witness it. The show was one of the best I've seen this year. It was really memorable, really unique, and for these reasons I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It really was a phenomenal display of a madman's brain thrown onto a stage. It was just phenomenal. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys and gals later.